Hello friends, welcome to the Tech Protein. So in this particular scenario, I have drawn a simple scenario for your understanding. So the topic that we are going to discuss is the concept of gateway. Okay, so friends, whenever you assign an IP address to a computer, so you always assign an IP address like this. Consider this is a sample IP. Subnet mask assigned to the computer is something like this. So a class C network. So that's why the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. So this is the IP. This is the subnet mask. And the third field that we define is the gateway. So 192.168.10.1. So consider this particular scenario. I have taken an IP 10.10 here. Subnet mask of that IP is 255.255.255.0 and gateway for this computer is 10.1. So this is also mentioned in the IP address section of this particular system. But if this request from this particular computer needs to go out of the network, then this is the gateway for this particular computer. Correct? So friends, concept of default gateway. So gateway is generally pronounced as a default gateway. So default gateway means what? Friends, suppose for this particular network in specific, consider this is the network we have, and now if you want to communicate with a computer in other network, like I have shown a router here. So for this network, this is the default gateway, but at the same time for this network, this is the gateway to get out of that particular network. So similarly here also, this is another set of computers, and if these computers want to talk to this network or this network, they need to while sending the request out of the network, they need to send the request to the gateway of this network. So friends, now let me ask you a simple question here, that now this is the setup that we have. So how many networks are present in this particular diagram? So to do that, you need to identify similar NIDs. So this is 1.0, this is again, so IP 192.168.1.1, 1.10, 1.11 fall into the same network because their NID is 192.168.1.0. Same thing. So that's what this is, the first network that we have. Same way, IP address 10.1, 10.10, 10.11 have the same NID. So this becomes another network. Now coming to the third point, 20.1, 20.10, 20.11 NID is same. So this is our third network. And now here, this is the fourth network, and this one is the fifth network. So friends, one thing you need to understand, that why request goes to a gateway, right? So consider to understand this particular concept, consider I have a computer 10.0.1.10, right? And now if this particular computer wants to talk to this computer which is on the other side of the router, so router, wherever we have a router connects, I'll just write it for you, router connects to different, or not only to, connects different networks. Okay, so on this side of the router there is a 10. Series network, on this side of the router there is 192 series network. So this is So this is the symbol of a router or router, whatever you call. So this is a router, this is again a router. So routers, one port of the router is connected to the switch, and in the same way two different computers are connected to the switch. So now this makes it one network. This is the second network. So if I have to highlight that here, so this is network 1, this is the second network, this is the third network, this is the fourth one, and this is the fifth network. So now friends, if I want to communicate from this computer to this particular computer on the other network, so what happens is, when you say, consider you are on, this is PC A and this is PC B. So on PC A, what I did, I have simply typed a command ping 192.168.10.10, the IP address of PCB. What happens? This computer first checks the own IP address. What is the own IP address? The IP address of this system is PCA. If I write here 192.168.1.10, and what is the IP address of destination computer? PCB. The destination computer IP address is 192.168. Now make a note here, it is 10.10. So what happened in this case is that NID of the source computer and the destination computer is changed. So NID of PCA is 192.168.1.0, NID of PCB is 192.168.10.0. It means if NID changes, it means it is a different network altogether. So friends, so for PCA, looking at the NID, we can see that PCB belongs to some other network, and when the computer identifies that, instead of searching that IP on the same network, it forwards that request to its gateway. So gateway for this computer is this. So now request is initiated from this computer and is directly sent to the gateway. Now this router, after receiving the request, understands that the source wants to reach out to the NID of 10.0 network where this particular computer is located. The router has its configuration which helps it identify the port through which this request needs to be sent out. So what happens? There is a routing table maintained by the router, of course, that is created by these network administrators first. So what happens when sending requests from this network to this network? This is the exit interface, and that's what is configured in the routing table of this router. And that is how request from this computer first goes to the gateway. From this, it reaches to this particular interface, and this interface then has the routing information to forward that request to this particular interface connected to the switch and the subsequent computers in the other network. So that is how the source computer, right, identifies whether the request that is generated on this computer belongs to the same network or it belongs to some other network. So NID was different, so it means the request was for another network, and that's where the computer has forwarded the request to the gateway, and that is why request is sent to the gateway. So that is why, guys, we need a gateway to access anything that is outside our network. Consider you are at home and you want to access a social networking site like facebook.com. So in that case, your computer will immediately come to know that I belong to one network and Facebook is located on the cloud. So it's very simple for the system to identify that the site doesn't belong to the own network and the request is sent to the gateway. So that is where gateway comes into picture. So friends, this is what I wanted to cover this topic. Very important point that everyone should know. So that was the missing piece in this particular training. So I have also covered that as part of this particular session. So in the upcoming courses, you would see me doing some screen recordings of the same concepts that I have explained in this particular course module, and we'll have an hands-on experience in the upcoming sessions. So I hope you liked this particular course. Stay tuned and join me in the next training module. Thank you for watching.